Hi, welcome to AccuSQL. Today we're going to talk about setting up your SQL Server database connection in AccuSQL 2020. Let's begin. The topics we are going to cover today are locating the SQL database server location, filling out the SQL Server connection info into the database location settings, and checking that the database connection has been set up. The first thing we must do is locate the SQL database server location. Before we do this, let's see the current path that AccuSQL has for the database. To do this, we can right-click on AccuSQL 2020 shortcut, go to Open File Location, scroll down, and double-click on SetDataPath.exe. From here we can see that it is not connected to a SQL server, it's connected to a native client. Click Next, and it shows that we are connected to the tutoring sample database that comes default with AccuSQL. What we have to do now is connect it to a SQL Server database. To do this, we have to open up our SQL Server Management Studio tool, wait for it to open, and from here we get the server name, connect to the database, click on databases on the left hand side, and here we have the databases. This is the one we created previously, the blank one. We're going to use this one for our example. Next up, we are going to talk about filling out the SQL Server connection info in the database location settings on AccuSQL 2020. To do this, we can exit out of the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, exit out of this, and open AccuSQL 2020. Then you can close out of this and log in using your credentials. Once in AccuSQL, go to Database and Database Location. Now instead of native, we're going to select SQL Server and click Next. And now we can connect to the SQL Server. We can start by putting the name of the server, like shown before. Then select the authentication mode, whether it's Windows authentication or SQL Server authentication. In my case, it is Windows. If you choose SQL, you're going to have to input a username and a password. The next thing we should do is select the SQL Server client driver. I am using the native client 11.0 with the 2012 driver. Then select on the database, like shown below, sample database. And the owner as default is DBO. From here, we can test connection. The test connection succeeded, click OK. And now we can save the database by clicking Save. Connection info saved. Now you must restart the application for the changes to take effect. Click OK. And now we can close out of AccuSQL. And do you want to exit? Click Yes. And do you want to back up your data? No. And close. The final step that we're going to do is check that the database connection has been set up. We can do this by either going to the AccuSQL Set Data Path utility or opening AccuSQL 2020 itself. For this example, I'm going to open AccuSQL 2020 by double clicking the shortcut. When AccuSQL opens, we can close out of here and log in using your credentials. Once here, since we did the blank database, we're going to see that it's not going to have anything in it. But to check that it updated, we can go to Database and Database Location. We can see that now it is in the SQL Server button, not the native. Click Next, and we see that all the settings that we put in are still there. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching this video on how to set up your SQL Server database connection. For more videos on AccuSQL, or if you have any additional questions, please visit engineerica.com/AccuSQL.